A Canadian man imprisoned in Egypt for nearly 15 years on a spying charge is safely back in Canada. Joseph Attar was jailed in Cairo in 2007. He was charged with spying for Israel while in Canada and swiftly sentenced. Human rights groups say the confession used to convict him was obtained by torture. His fight to return to Canada has been a long and troubling ordeal. Adrienne Arsenault is a senior correspondent and co-host of The National. She's been following all the twists and turns on the story for years now. Adrienne, good to see you. So how did this happen to him?
Oh, it's so crazy. I mean, firstly, what a great day that he's coming home. No one did him any favors. He was sentenced to 15 years. He served every day of it. So what happened is in January of 2007, Joseph Attar was a CIBC bank teller. He wanted to go home to Egypt to see some family members. He's a Canadian citizen, but he saved up and he was heading home. He was not there very long before he was picked up, accused of spying for Israel while in Canada. He has since told us that he knows the person who sent him to the authorities, that they were angry because he had a Jewish friend. He says he told interrogators, you know, what on earth are you talking about? I'm a Canadian. We are not racist. We are not bigoted. We don't judge on the basis of sexual orientation. But it was on the basis of that friendship that he believes that these accusations, wild accusations, were made, that he was a spy for Israel based in Egypt. Here's a little bit of a sense of what he says happened, because ultimately there was a confession on which the case was founded. But Joseph and human rights groups say that that confession was gained under torture. Have a listen to how he described it.
I was forced to drink my urine. I was threatened to be raped and to rape the ladies of my family, to harm my brothers in the Egyptian military career. You know, they are officers. And add to that, I was threatened to put some real big drugs amount in my closed luggage, only to convert that case from a political case to a smuggling drug so I could receive death penalty.
Wow. So this CBC has been following this case for quite a long time, right, Adrienne?
Yeah, you bet. So he was talking there to Karen Pauls, who was at the airport today. We knew this was happening because of a CBC producer named Stuart Einer, who, if anyone who has heard CBC Radio over the years has heard the great work of Stuart. He's been behind a lot of stuff. What you're looking at there are the letters. So Stuart, many years ago, started writing out of journalistic curiosity and integrity, started writing to Joseph, and would periodically get letters back. And when I say periodically, I mean it would take months and months and months to arrive. Joseph would write them, perhaps another 6 months. So you're talking, 7-8 months before letters would be exchanged. But Stuart was always staying in touch with him. And then when Stuart retired, he and I had worked together on the story. He gave me the file of letters. Other reporters came and went. Other diplomatic officials, governments came and went, but Stuart never let go. And so he got word last night that Joseph was on a plane. He let us know. You can see he went to the airport this morning just to see him, to check in on him. Quite frankly, I'm not sure how many people Joseph has been able to stay in touch with over the years, how many of his friends are still around. But certainly Stuart has been curious and diligent on this from the beginning.
And how much did Canada go to bat for him or not?
This is a really hard question to answer, Andrew. A number of years ago when we spoke with Attar's lawyer, he was a man who said, look, I've been paid since 2013. I haven't heard from him in years. I haven't heard from Canadian officials. I think everybody's forgotten about him. We spoke with Amnesty International, who said that, no, they had not forgotten about him. This was in 2015, but they also had not been in touch in a number of years. Attar himself told Karen Pauls today that he had written to the Harper government over 100 times and had not heard anything back. He maintains he did hear an expression of support or acknowledgement from the Trudeau government, but to him, he's unclear that anybody went to bat for him. If you remember, around the time Mohammed al-Fahmy was being released from an Egyptian jail, To Attar, that was a very hard time. There were no hashtags for him. There wasn't a public groundswell of support for him. He watched Fahmy come and go from jail, and there he sat. We know that he was met today at the airport by a man named Majid Al-Safi as well, who is very well known in Canada as being someone who fights for those who have been persecuted abroad, often people who had converted to Christianity or were Christians. That is the case with Joseph. I don't know to what degree Majid's influence perhaps enabled Joseph to come home, but again, 15-year sentence to the day he's out only now.
Mm-hmm. So Joseph Attar is now back in Canada. What is next for him?
Everything, Andrew, everything. He needs to get his job back. He needs a job. Again, he was a CIBC bank teller. He would sure love to go back to that job. He needs a home. He needs his name cleared. Again, this is a question Karen asked him, the what next question, and he had a bit of an answer for it. Let's listen.
I don't know, where am I supposed to stay now? I lost my house and it's winter time. What am I supposed to do? I'm here in Canada now. What am I supposed to do? Toronto Housing? How am I supposed to talk to them? And of course, there is a waiting list. I'm not going to sleep in a shelter after 15 years for something that I never did. I need to look for a very, very, very good legal representative now to clear my name.
Yeah, so that's a big list. He's exhausted. He was released actually a couple weeks ago, but apparently spent a number of weeks in the basement of a Cairo police station. Well, they just, kept asking him more questions, and finally, he got on that plane. But it's the ending of a story in one way, but the beginning of something brand new for him.
Wow, incredible. Okay, Adrienne, thank you. The National's Adrienne Arsenault live in Toronto.